Hey Pokemon Masters, PokePatrol here, and thank you. Thank you so much if you are one of the many people out there isolating yourself right now, quarantining, just making sure that you're not having too much unnecessary social interaction. I get it. We're all dealing with this virus. Things have been nuts, and I'm not going to talk about it too much here on the channel at all. My channel has always been something I've seen as separate from the outside world. This is a place to come and enjoy just people talking about Pokemon, and because of that, I'm going to be uploading an extra video every week if I can help it. And possibly streaming over on Twitch as well. I want to give people as much to watch as possible. I myself need to do more. You know, I'm stuck indoors as well, and I'm just making sure that I've got stuff to do. And hey, silver lining in every horrible situation, there's just more time to play Pokemon at the moment. So if you're wanting stuff to watch, make sure you're subscribed now more than ever. Make sure you've got the little bell icon. Make sure you've got it clicked and set to all. You want to get every notification. When a video goes live, you will see it 3 videos every week. That is the hope. If not, there'll at least be the 2 that I usually do. And I'm going to try and stream more on Twitch. The best places to keep up to date, of course, my Twitter, my Discord server. And with that being said, kind of as a way of getting that extra bit of content out there, making an extra video is something kind of easy and fun, something I've wanted to do really, I guess since the channel started, which was 5 years ago now. It is eventually come to a point where I could look back at my entire library of Pokemon theories and go, okay, so was that right in the end? Do we know? And well, it's certainly not the end. There'll always be future Pokemon games and future Pokemon series. There are definitely some that I can look back on now and say, that theory of mine, that was horribly wrong and got immediately disproven. And so that's really what this series is, just some easier to do videos, kind of revisiting some of the content I've already made, some which you might remember, some which you might not. Running you through the premise of all of those good Pokemon theories and working out which ones turned out to still actually really hold up and maybe possibly correct. Pokemon fact, Pokemon lore, and which ones are horrendously wrong, starting with possibly the most popular Pokemon theory on this channel. Amour shipping, and does it mean the end for Ash Ketchum? Oh boy, I wonder if that turned out to be right or wrong. Oh. And you might be wondering, PokePatrol, why are you wearing that shirt? I recognize that, and yeah, this is why. That is me in July of 2015. That is me in July of 2015, 6 months into the channel, hitting just around about that time 5,000 subscribers. Telling you all about my theory on Amour shipping, and for those of you who don't know what Amour shipping is, that is the romantic pairing of 2 characters in the Pokemon animated series. Serena of the Kalos region, and of course, Ash Ketchum. And my theory at the time, based off of evidence, was that the Pokemon animated series, with Ash at the helm of it, Ash as the main character, was probably going to come to an end. And yeah, all of the most recent comments on that video just tell me how absolutely wrong I clearly was. But what was the theory? What was the evidence? Why did I think that? Well, first of all, this is what I had to say about Amour shipping. I'm sorry, no, as I called it then. Armor shipping and armor shipping. Armor shipping is armor shipping. Yep, so with that single video, I managed to annoy people who don't care about shipping and annoy people who care about shipping. I annoyed everyone who watched that video. The thing about Amour shipping that is different than the romantic pairing of Ash with any other character is that Amour shipping is very heavily canon. At the end of the XY series, where Serena was traveling around the Kalos region with Ash Ketchum, they actually shared a brief little kiss, which was kind of like, it was cut at that moment, the way that they all happened. This is the scene. Anyway, it was all very cute. Amour, of course, being the French word for love, and Kalos, of course, being the region based off of France. Serena and Ash sharing this kind of interesting backstory where they had met just outside of Pallet Town, I think, as kids. And this was interesting to me because it was kind of poetic. It rhymed with when Ash first went on his adventure with Misty. They met just outside of Pallet Town, and yeah. To me, when the Pokemon TV series was blowing up in the late 1990s and into the early 2000s, Ash hadn't traveled around all these different regions with all of these different companions, and Misty was like, if he was going to have a girlfriend, it was Misty. And I get it, these characters are like 10. This is all very like cutesy, relationshipy stuff. But you know, growing up at that time, seeing these relationships on screen, it was kind of like, oh, that's exciting. What's that about? I don't really know. I just want to play Pokemon. This stuff was stuff that people who watched the show at the time cared about. And we didn't know that the companion characters like Misty were going to be replaced every new generation with May and Dawn and Iris. Instead, Misty travelled with Ash all through the Johto region, and we assumed that they would just sort of be together forever, no matter how long, from now until the end of time. That track, by the way, from the To Be a Master soundtrack, which has a whole track dedicated to basically Misty's feelings for Ash. Misty and Ash were a surefire thing, and what's this got to do with Serena? Well, here's the thing. With every following generation, there's always been a shipping, like a pairing. I don't know what the shipping with May is called, I can't remember, but there's a shipping with May where people are like, oh, Ash and May should get together. There's Pearl shipping where there's Dawn and Ash, and that's a whole thing. But the show doesn't really lean on it in the way it has with these two characters, Misty and Serena. So at the time that Kalos was a thing and Alola wasn't out yet, we didn't even know about Alola's existence. My thought with Kalos, and people really liked the Kalos League, the whole series, the whole arc, because Ash was probably the strongest he's ever been, and actually in terms of the league, he got right to the finals. He was kicking butt with Ash Greninja, he had a pseudo-legendary with Goodra. There was some massive character progression for Ash that he definitely hadn't seen really in the Unova series, where he used a very weak team and he would use Pokemon that had type disadvantage all the time. It was a whole thing. But in Kalos, Ash was like the ultimate Ash Ketchum. And so my kind of thinking was, hey, this kind of character progression, this kind of taking Ash all the way to the finals, and we didn't know that he wouldn't win the finals at that time, this signaled something. Maybe the end of Ash Ketchum's story. After all, why would they be bothering with all of this romance nonsense, other than the fact that it's just compelling television? Why would they bother with it if it wasn't to signal some kind of happy ending type thing that all cartoon characters have? Every character has a happy ending. It's all very cheesy and it's all for the kids. And with that in mind, is that what they were setting up? An ending for Ash? As a big bit of evidence for this, I also leaned on a bit of footage that is impossible to find now. Luckily at the time I saved a link, but there was this trailer for the Pokemon First movie that only ever aired in Japan. And as far as I can tell, the link that I have for this trailer is the only link that I can find to this YouTube video. A trailer in which we see what is implied to be an older Misty reminiscing about a young man she once knew and their kid. And Pikachu's there, and the lady from the docks is there. I don't know why she's there. I guess they had different plans for the movie, but the idea was that this would be a flash forward, that Ash's story eventually always ends in a romance with Misty, and that they have a kid, and that's the happily ever after. And so my thinking was now that if they were bothering putting energy into writing in a little romance, which was clearly the plan with X and Y, like I said, they share that kiss at the end of the series, Ash and Serena, the only reason they would bother to do that is if they were setting up for the end. Now, how has this theory held up over time? Absolutely horribly. Of course, it wasn't the end for Ash. Ash then travelled to Alola, and then on, of course, now to Galar. And look, even once we had the Alola games announced, I made a follow-up to this theory, kind of expanding upon it and talking about how the female player character from Sun and Moon with blonde hair looks just like Serena. And that maybe Serena would continue with Ash to the Alola region. And I'm sure many of you Amour shippers hope that that would in fact be the case, but ultimately it wasn't. This theory was proven horribly, unequivocally wrong. Amour shipping did not mean the end. The Ash Ketchum that appears in the Alola region is almost definitely the same Ash Ketchum who travelled around the Kalos region. He makes many references, and I believe in the first episode we even see Ash hand over Pokeballs to Professor Oak, which is equal to the amount of Pokemon that were left on his team from Kalos. And ultimately they decided that Ash was going to continue to be the face of the Pokemon franchise on the animated series. So that is the most popular one of my Pokemon theories, and it's horribly, horribly wrong. I guess we'll see how the next theory holds up. With that said, what do you think about these kind of videos? I kind of figure for those of you who were around on the channel at that time, it's a really good way to have a little nostalgia trip and reflect and see, was I actually a legendary Pokemon theorist on YouTube? Or maybe not so. I'm just a Pokemon fan, I'm not a professional. And for those of you who haven't heard the theories before, I think it'll be a fun way for you to kind of hear about those theories, and then also, then just kind of take the mick out of myself a little bit. With that being said, thank you for watching this, and again, thank you to all of you who are just staying indoors. Look after yourself. If you want people to talk with, you still need to socialize, make sure to jump onto the Discord. I'm not there a massive amount, but I will try to be as active as I can. There are so many like-minded people where you can talk about Pokemon and movies. You can, you know, set up communities to play Dungeons and Dragons together. That's something I'm doing actually, just on the side, is I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons with some friends, and we're doing it all over Discord. And just know that this channel, it's always going to be here. I'm going to be making as many videos as I can, ideally at least 3 a week. And I will also try and stream a little bit more frequently on Twitch. So make sure you're following me on all the social medias. Let me know what you think about this kind of video in the comments, of course. And so hi, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.
And a massive thank you to those of you supporting me on Patreon, including the big patrons of the month, the Nerd Therapist and Gunnar Clovis. Thank you.